U.S. senators and representatives are now calling on federal government watchdogs to address the issue of privacy and surveillance, and whether or not we can justify the social cost. This, just less than a week after substantial flaws rose from Amazon's facial recognition. This came from a test commissioned by the American Civil Liberties Union that falsely identified over 28 members of Congress as convicted criminals. These test results include members from both political parties, as well as men and women, and most notably people of color. And given the recent racial disparities in law enforcement across the country, it's no wonder so many people are concerned with its use. Members of Congress are calling for an investigation of the pros and cons of the technology. 3 U.S. representatives wrote a letter to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos voicing their deep concerns. And in a second letter this week, members of Congress wrote to the Government Office of Accountability saying, given the recent advances in commercial facial recognition technology and its expanded use by state, local, and federal law enforcement, particularly the FBI and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, we ask that you investigate and evaluate the facial recognition industry and its government use. So far, only Washington County Police in Oregon and the Orlando PD are using Amazon's pilot program for facial recognition. But the Orlando PD recently said they will not be renewing their contract with Amazon. Rising public concerns note that not only could it infringe on privacy rights, but most importantly, this could cost people their freedom or even their lives. While the letters focus on facial recognition in law enforcement, citizens are more broadly concerned with data collected on this software.
I think we have to figure out how privacy plays into the technology realm, particularly with these kinds of technologies. And it's going to change, I think, in the very near future, how we look at privacy because of the invasion that this technology puts on the average citizen.
And even though an Amazon spokesperson noted that Amazon recognition is a tool to help law enforcement prevent crime, privacy continues to be a growing concern among voters as technology becomes more invasive. The bigger picture is as more and more data becomes available about each and every one of us, with more and more consumer and surveillance devices around us, debates like these will only grow more prevalent.
The smartphone uses facial recognition technology to unlock it. But one day after Apple unveiled the iPhone 10, just one day later, a Democratic senator asked the company, what do you plan to do with all that data?
It is the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone.
In California this week, Apple pulled back the curtain on its latest gizmo, packed full of new tech and now new questions.
We call this Face ID.
A forward-facing camera system will use depth sensors to map the contours of your face, unlocking your phone.
Your iPhone now recognizes you.
Facial recognition isn't a new concept, but with an estimated 700 million iPhones reportedly in use around the globe, there are new privacy concerns about this technology.
There's always a chance that someone could physically force you to unlock your device by grabbing your hand or holding the phone up to your face. You also have to worry about where this information is being shared.
Now Congress is asking where that information could go.
The latest revelation by WikiLeaks released Thursday says that the CIA has been able to hack into iPhones for as long as a decade. The new document dump details several software tools, one of which is so powerful it allows Langley to remotely download and upload files and apps onto your iPhone. This is the second CIA-related leak that the website has made this month, and it promises much more. Here's RT's Alexei Arashevsky.
If the Central Intelligence Agency went commercial, this could have been its slogan, and WikiLeaks in that case would have been the brand manager. The whistleblowing website's latest revelations, published on Thursday under a scary name, Dark Matter, describes just that, the tools used by the CIA to hack into Apple's products. There are several of them with, cool names like Sonic Screwdriver, Der Starke, and Triton. But the one which has drawn the biggest attention is a beacon loader implant tool called Night Skies. WikiLeaks stresses that the software had reached version 1.2 by 2008, and it's expressly designed to be physically installed onto factory-fresh iPhones, meaning the CIA has been infecting the iPhone supply chain of its targets since at least 2008 and probably even earlier, injecting it into factory-fresh smartphones before they even reached their buyers. It comprises of three components: an implant, a listening post or LP, and a post-processing program. The implant obviously runs undetected on the phone once it has been physically installed, allowing the CIA to monitor the phone for activity like browser history file, YouTube video cache, or mail metadata. And then Night Sky sends the information to a pre-configured LP, which is like a Dropbox for the data, which then obviously being processed. The TechCrunch website analyzed the software and said it was quite powerful, as Night Skies could access your address book, the SMS conversations and call logs in order to upload it to the CIA servers. The agency could also execute commands on the iPhone remotely to install new tools and even more so, download any files or upload any files into the device. After the recent major dump of documents related to CIA hacking capabilities by WikiLeaks, the so-called Vault 7, a number of tech giants, including Apple, said most of the described backdoors have already been dealt with through software updates. But it remains unclear whether any of the newly published tools are operational today. And let's not forget, the 9,000 documents revealed by WikiLeaks as part of their CIA expose were only 1% of what those behind the website claim they have in their possession.
Soon, boarding passes may become obsolete and your identification will be verified using a quick picture at check-in. But the new process has sparked some major privacy concerns.
I think a lot of people are concerned that once their face is out there, it can be uploaded to other surveillance tools that can track them throughout their entire movements throughout the country. And I think that's where people are saying it's an invasion of privacy.
In an effort to boost airport security in conjunction with the CBP, JetBlue is now testing a paperless program that verifies travelers using facial recognition technology instead of a boarding pass, making your traveling experience quicker and easier. Launched earlier this year at Boston Logan International Airport, the pilot program allows passengers to board their flight to Aruba hands-free. JetBlue is now testing the same process on flights from Boston to Santiago, Dominican Republic. Here's how it works. The traveler will get their photo taken, then the technology would match your face with your passport photo through Customs and Border Patrol. It takes 3 to 4 seconds, and then you get the green light to board the plane, as opposed to showing your boarding pass to a gate agent. Joanna Garrity, Executive Vice President of Customer Experience for JetBlue, said in a statement, "We hope to learn how we can further reduce friction points in the airport experience, with the boarding process being one of the hardest to solve. Self-boarding eliminates boarding pass scanning and manual passport checks. Just look into the camera and you're on your way." Yet, despite privacy concerns, many think it will be a good idea.
I think it's a great idea because it's going to save time, and you're not going to have to be fumbling for documents all the time.
Yes, I think it's a great idea. It'll save a lot of time, and privacy, I have no concerns at all.
And in light of recent attacks, experts say that this kind of technology is the way of the future.
This is absolutely the way of the future. I mean, we're in a society now where we have to know who's in this country. We have to know people's movements in this country. I mean, we're in a post 9/11. We're still having terrorist attacks. We had one recently last month in the city of New York. So yeah, absolutely. This is the way we're going to see this society going.
And other airlines have also implemented programs using facial recognition technology. Earlier this year, Delta tested out a hands-free bag check program, and JetBlue is expected to expand its biometric facial recognition program if the pilot in Boston is successful.
But agencies use facial recognition technology to catch crooks.
But privacy advocates say the technology could be abused by unseen cameras that identify us. Morgan Wright reports.
I think it's going to proliferate and you're going to see it more widely used.
Facial recognition technology was recently used in Annapolis, Maryland, to help identify the suspect in the shooting death of 5 people in the Capital Gazette newsroom shooting. The police had the suspect in custody, but couldn't identify him with a fingerprint match.
They took an image of the individual, a mugshot, and they compared it against a database of mugshots and other images that they already had at the police station. And that's how they positively identified him.
Lieutenant Ryan Fraser with the Anne Arundel County Police Department in a statement confirmed facial recognition technology was used. Lieutenant Fraser says in the Capital Gazette case that technology was used in conjunction with other investigative tools to help investigators in identifying our suspect. The American Civil Liberties Union has concerns over the use of facial recognition. They say it's too much power for the government to have.
Face recognition is potentially like the nuclear weapon of surveillance.
Jay Stanley says there are serious questions about the technology and its effectiveness, and it creates privacy concerns.
It potentially could give law enforcement the ability to hit rewind on anybody's life, find out everywhere they've been, who they've been with, what they've been doing, what religious or sexual or political or medical activities they've been engaged in.
Wake up.